Welcome to EA Play 2017, coming to you from the Hollywood Palladium.
With EA's Play conference getting the ball rolling, E3 2017 is officially underway. Honestly, it seems to start earlier every year. Our analysts currently predict E3 2018 will begin sometime this November. Anyway, as with all E3 press conferences, EA's was not without its share of moments both good and toe-curlingly awful. So in case you missed out on all the action, here are the 7 most memorable moments from EA's E3 2017 press conference. Number 1, drummers, for some reason. Nothing quite hammers home how surreal E3 is for both attendees and people watching online, swifter than having an inexplicable music segment opening proceedings. If you don't believe me, ask Ubisoft. They've been at it for ages. This year, EA's own particular bit of instrumental oddity came in the form of these drummers, with their NFL branded shirts and drums, and their impressively underleveled audio. Lads, I'm sure that was very impressive sounding for the people sat 3 feet away from you. I'm also reasonably confident that's the last thing they will have heard for at least a week, but from where we were sitting, it was just a bit weird. Number 2, people looking miserable sat in front of unreleased video games. Carrying on from last year, EA's E3 conference was all about showing off its games and getting the people in the audience playing as swiftly as possible once things wrapped up. Logistically, this meant building a bunch of gameplay stations in the auditorium so they could run a live game of Star Wars Battlefront 2. In reality, it meant showing a bunch of shots of prominent YouTubers looking bored and/or vaguely distressed. I'm not saying they should have been gnashing their teeth with excitement for the whole thing, of course, but when you're talking about how exciting it is to have these games available and then show a bunch of people who look like they've just been arrested, it cuts a pretty weird impression. Number 3, British people, confusing the shit out of American people. The Men in Blazers are a presenting duo who make videos about football for NBC. To be honest, their patter wasn't bad, aside from a fixation on jokes about baldness, but I mostly enjoyed this segment, imagining how many millions across the world would be watching, and wondering what the hell was going on.
I don't know, Davo, but it seems like everyone's got an opinion.
Number 4, the first auto-prompt failure of E3 2017. Producing a live show is hard work. It's also work that carries a certain amount of risk, because if something goes wrong, you can't just start again from the top. This is a lesson multiple people learn over the course of E3 every year, but this time around it was the turn of poor Jesse Welland, to whom this happened.
Thank you for having me, EA. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Jesse Welland, and I am a YouTube creator. So I am here to talk about Need for Speed Payback. If you guys didn't know, Need for Speed Payback, yeah, it's a great game. But all right, all set aside.
Bad luck, Jesse, but fair play, you rallied and made it through the rest of the segment despite starting it out looking like you might be sick on your shoes. Number 5, Couch Co-op. Heading into this conference, we were fairly confident we'd be seeing something from the creator of Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, and what we got certainly didn't disappoint. A Way Out is a game you have to play in split-screen co-op, which is an encouraging sign that the games industry is starting to remember how much fun couch co-op actually is. Anyway, you play as a couple of convicts as they attempt to bust their way out of prison, with multiple ways to approach particular set pieces. It's all rather gritty and perhaps a bit more serious than we were expecting, but for the gameplay setup alone, this one looks well worth keeping an eye on. Number 6, Anthem. BioWare's new IP was, alas, only teased during the EA conference, with more promised during the Microsoft presser. Nonetheless, the brief glimpse we saw was very tantalising indeed, with a big wall, a big monster, a big storm, and some very big mechs hinting at a very interesting and big game world. I wish there was more detail to share at this point, but keep an eye on the channel and we'll have more info as and when we get it. Number 7, EA admitting it got quite a few things wrong the first time round with Star Wars Battlefront. It takes a lot of courage to admit you got something wrong, so God knows how much courage it must take to admit the thing you got wrong was the video game that sold 14 million copies. But to its credit, that's exactly what EA did during its presser, including this lovingly made animation of all the times people, including The Force Awakens actor John Boyega, pointed out bits of Star Wars Battlefront that were disappointing. There was also this genuinely quite good joke that was immediately ruined by the man who had literally just finished telling it, explaining why it was funny.
2 years ago, we launched Star Wars Battlefront, and we got a lot of feedback. A lot of it positive, and a bunch of it constructive. That's a euphemism for not as positive.
The rest of the Battlefront 2 segment, though, was pretty encouraging, with the promise of free DLC seasons, a proper campaign, and our first proper chunk of gameplay. My favourite bit, though, was this bit from the trailer, in which it was revealed Emperor Palpatine employs a man whose job it is to stand around looking like a member of Daft Punk until the boss man decides he wants to Skype in and say something to the room. Less good was the number of times we heard the word shred, making Battlefront 2 seem less like a video game and more like a head of lettuce.
Shredding everyone up, absolutely shredded everyone. Really shred through people and shred through everyone.
Shred as soon as anybody gets in his way. Shredded the Clone Army, unfortunately.
And there we go, those were 7 memorable moments from EA's E3 press conference 2017. What were your favourite bits? Let us know in the comments. Do keep your eyes peeled for plenty more on Star Wars Battlefront 2, Anthem, and lots of other good stuff from this year's show. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a thing. Thank you very much for watching, and have a lovely day.